Hey there, cats and kittens. Marboro Man from Wham Radio and New Wham TV, because we have mutiny people coming right at you from beautiful downtown Berwyn, Illinois, with America's favorite co-host, Miss Anarchist.
Hey guys, this is Anarchist coming to you from the dark side of the moon here on Wham Radio, because we have a mutiny people. We have a good show for you tonight. Today's topic is e-learning and how it is affecting today's students. We also want to talk about what it means to click on I agree to the terms and service on the program used to educate your children. But first, let us listen to a word from one of our sponsors.
Marboro Man here, reminding you that Jaci's Resale Shop in Berwyn has all your home goods under one roof. Everything you need at the best possible value. Your dollar will go farther than it's ever gone before. Come on down and grab some furniture, books, electronics, kitchenware, and much, much more. You can even get a brand new outfit complete with shoes and accessories for under $10. Can you believe that? Check out Jaci's Resale Shop, located at 6615 Cermak Road in beautiful downtown Berwyn, Illinois, on Cermak Road and East Avenue. Or call 708-689-7172, or check out our Facebook page in the description below. Remember, folks, if you can't find it anywhere else, then you can always find it at Jaci's. All right, cats and kittens, and now back to the show.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about e-learning today and, you know, what it's doing to our kids.
You said there's terms and conditions?
Yeah.
So they actually have to click on, they have to agree to something in order to get the school in the house. To
right.
come through the computer.
Yeah.
To the kid.
Right, so you have to click on I agree to terms and service to whatever, like, e-learning tool that they're using. And as far as I know, the most popular one that's being used right now is Zoom. And up and running Google Classroom.
So why are people even doing this? Like, why not just homeschool your kid? I don't understand. Why even bother with the whole school system or whatever? Especially now that there's no schoolhouse. The kid's in your house anyway already. Like, why not just teach your own kid and, you know, sign up for the homeschooling dealio, you know, so you don't get in trouble with the man.
So I was
that's
thinking
what everybody's worried about, right?
That maybe some of the parents think that because their kid's home sitting in front of the computer, like, this is homeschooling, like, this is, you know?
Yeah.
So,
right.
You know, this is what homeschooling looks like. Or
people believe it. Oh, they don't know the difference.
Or they don't think they're qualified enough to educate their own children.
Self-esteem issues.
Mm-hmm.
America does.
Self-esteem?
For the first time in history, America's got self-esteem issues.
Or self-confidence issues.
Right, yeah. Ridiculous.
They have no confidence in themselves. As Americans, we don't.
And we're known for being an overconfident nation.
I know.
Like, for us to have self-confident and self-esteem issues.
We're so overconfident that Muslims over there want to behead us, you know, because they hate how overconfident and arrogant we are.
Right, yeah, exactly. How could we not be thinking of real things?
So what, when we lose confidence, do they not want to, like, cut our heads off as much anymore or something? Is that how we stop that from happening?
Is that what it is? It's anti-terrorism?
Is that how we're fighting terrorism these days, guys? Educating our kids at home with the public school system?
Okay, children, we must fight terrorism here at home. Everybody,
lose your confidence.
And click on Google Classroom. You will now be immersed in a world of education. I promise you.
So I want to look at a few articles here on online that I came across. I thought they were really interesting. So this one, it says 6 reasons why e-learning programs may fail. And I think this was written back in 2018, this article, you know. And, you know, they were already kind of foreshadowing, like what is that, e-learning, online learning and stuff like that.
Well, we've been filling out applications online for how long, and everyone says how, like, bad they are and how they don't work and how how counterproductive online applications really are, and how they leave out the actual people that you normally would hire to do the good job.
Or bringing the paper application into yourself to the manager and seeing the person.
To the individual, right. The direct contact is all gone.
And that's what the e-learning, what we talked about them doctoring grades, so now the students aren't...
Really? You mean it's kind of the same similar thing?
What is it? Kids aren't going to hand in their assignments anymore written in their own handwriting. So the teacher, they could doctor grades now with this e-learning because, they could be hacked.
So they did something that we hated that didn't work in order to get us used to doing something that we hate that doesn't work, so that our children would not think it's a big deal to do something that they hate that doesn't work.
Right.
For points.
For points.
Well, and the points that you're told and a grade that you're told that you need to live on. Just like the online applications, because you need a job to live on, right?
Or that Chinese...
So you have to fill out online applications.
Or that Chinese social credit score.
Right, yeah, right. If you don't go to online school, you won't get a Chinese social credit score.
Yeah, we need those.
Oh, God, yes.
That mass surveillance and stuff in Hong Kong, we need that. Because we need those social credit scores so we could go up in life.
Because your masturbation pictures in China are only so valuable, people. They can't cover everything. You have to get the social score standing with that.
So
you can't just have private pics in China for money anymore. You got public ones too.
So reason number one why e-learning is just such a big failure is that there's a big lack of engagement between students.
By the way, why do you care about what people in China think about you, America? Go ahead. Right?
Yeah.
It's all propaganda.
It's all propaganda. Okay, so one of the biggest failures of e-learning is a lack of engagement between students and the materials that they're being presented. And to be honest, I don't think any of our teachers, grade school teachers were prepared for this type of teaching style.
No. They thought it would be them like a Little Red Schoolhouse, just a more updated and progressive version. I think they all believed they were heroes when they went to teacher school, whatever.
Yep.
Not that they're not, but, they just can't do what they're supposed to do, so what's the point? I've heard many teachers tell me that, by the way. I've interviewed personally tons of teachers, especially being in Chicago. We have a teacher strike that's been going on for like 2 years now. So I've interviewed a lot of teachers about public schooling and private schooling even, and what they have to say is absolutely horrible, ridiculous, and they claim that they are not allowed to teach what they want to teach, and they wish that we would all wise up and just get rid of the administration already so that they could go back to just teaching our kids.
I know.
Because that's what's forcing them to do what they believe to be the wrong thing.
Exactly.
And they're torn between two worlds, which is why teachers have it so difficult.
We do. I was a teacher for a long time.
I understand now, yeah. After talking to all of them. And I think I've talked to every teacher in Chicago. I mean, really. Even my Uncle Dave is a Chicago computer teacher even. And, I think, that's all of them. I mean, I can't think of it. Oh, and DuPage County, too. So even, more, richer, suburbanite, whites, what would be considered to be a white school, they're terrible, too. They're just as bad as the inner city schools and city schools. And, and those are full of black people. Oh, yeah. Right, and we all know they can't learn anything in school. They can't teach them. So what do you think they're doing to your kids? I mean, presuming, your kids are not, inner city black kids. Because if they are, you already know what they're doing to your kids.
Yep.
Your kids only have two options. Either try to get into some separate program away from the actual mainstream school, which they have, okay? But if you're a black parent, you're hoping your kid gets into one of these special programs basically through the horrible school, or you're hoping that you can get out of the city and go to a suburbanite school, and your kid will have a better opportunities and everything. Except what you don't realize is that the education, and not the schooling, not the teaching, the education is so bad that they actually hold these kids back and push them down. And I mean, to have them come home believing things that are just not true. They have no reality anymore. They take all the sense of reality away from these kids.
Yep.
And yeah, make them believe in total bullshit, like lies.
Exactly.
So that they can keep getting money for books.
So let's get back really quick. Okay, so students are not engaging with the material online the way they would like in person.
Oh, right.
Which leads into the second reason why online learning is a failure. There's a lack of interactivity. So like knowing the information and repeating it is one thing. Putting it into practice is a whole other different story. Now these kids, you can sit there and watch a video all day on a topic, but if you're not applying that in real life in some way, shape, or form, you're not, you're not practicing your skill. You're not honing it. You're not engaging with the environment and your education at the same time.
Not to mention the fact that anytime you put something on a screen, whether you're reading it or watching it or whatever, no education can really possibly happen in your brain. Like most of your brain goes gray, goes dark, like all the lights go off. Like if you were to hook your brain up to electrodes, you'd see if you read a book, for example, your brain lights up like crazy. But and you're absorbing information. But if you watch anything on a screen that's got light, it's because of the light coming off the screen. Your brain goes dead. It goes down. It's like as if you're engrossed in a movie. Like you're at the movie theater with the lights off, and all you see is the movie and the surround sound, and that's all you hear. And you're just engrossed in it, and you're basically brain dead. You're not concentrating on anything of value at all. Just sitting there being entertained. So even if it's something educational, you're not really getting any real information. Remember that, people. Nothing on screen is real ever. It's all based on
you
practice.
you have to experience it yourself firsthand.
Right.
So
you have to.
Exactly. So that also leads into number 3, teacher-centered approaches. Okay. So now teachers can't engage with their students directly. Students are never going to get the personal feedback that they would get in person from a teacher, because teacher that involves body language, and communication,
human contact,
and human
infinitely more valuable. Infinitely more valuable.
And I think that would inspire a student to do better than an email from your teacher with an attached homework assignment with notations on it and little remarks on it in red. And you're like, okay, I guess this is what my teacher's saying about it, and it's all, red marks all over it. You don't get to see your teacher. I mean, you might see their face on the Zoom, like, in real time and stuff, but at the end of the day, like, it's not the same as being person to person in contact with your teacher. Like,
no, and speaking of Zoom, they can use that now to spy on you.
That's going a little too far ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that. We will get to that, because there's some really interesting information we're going to touch on in a bit. But I
heard Zoom.
We want to present our argument why e-learning for kids right now is just such a bad idea. So now we got information overload. There is just so many things out there for a kid to do on a computer these days. You know what I
put
mean?
yourself in the kid's position, actually. It's just like when you get up in the morning and you have your cup of coffee and your breakfast cereal, and you what's one of the first things you do is you go online. So you might start reading some of the news for today, or maybe the trending or whatever online, and then you see something in there, you have a question, so you look that up, and as you're reading about that, you come up with another, so you look up another thing, and then that makes you think of something else, so now you look up another thing, and before you know it, you're so far away from what you originally thought you were trying to figure out that you're just completely lost now, and you're not actually getting anywhere at all. But now your kid's trying to make grades that way.
And then you look at your desktop on your screen and you see there's like 20 windows open.
Exactly. Would you want that much homework?
Again, they really stress on
backlog.
They're really stressing on real world application. At the end of the day, e-learning, it's all on a screen. You're not applying it in unless you're applying in real life. where you're in a classroom and you're engaging with your classmates directly, performing group projects together, working on teams and stuff like that.
Right.
And yeah, you could try to do that online. Okay, everybody's got a group project. We're gonna pick your online buddy, and you guys are gonna write a report, and then you're gonna get an email back with an attached file with red marks all over it.
Oh, great, Jimmy! I'll come over to your house to teach it. No, you cannot go to Jimmy's house.
You're in quarantine.
Never be able to touch each other or come near each other. You have to, yes, be quarantined away from. No human contact.
Give each other corona.
Kind. Communism reigns supreme. Communism reigns supreme. Remember, children, praise your communist leaders now. And they'll say that just like anything, because it won't matter. No one will care at that point. No one will say anything or do anything. They'll just accept it and they'll go, oh, yeah, right, my communist leaders. I love them. And you'll forget all about what America was once and used to be. Freedom was a thing of the past, and you won't care.
And it was scary, too. It's a scary idea. Freedom is scary.
Right, yeah, because you won't care, because you're safe now.
You're safe now
in
jail.
With your pixie sticks in jail in your house.
With your webcams all over the house spying on you and everything you're saying, because you're that dangerous that you have to spy on yourself.
And drones deliver everything, including your contraband. They just drop it in your backyard. As long as you pay the digital dollars into the machining device, the computing device.
Trade in your fiat
digital
currency
dollars,
for
yeah.
digital dollars,
Right.
and then we'll drop your drugs
send
off
an
in the
army
backyard.
of drones your way, yeah.
So let's back to the topic. So
if they are drugs, do they have to send other drones to distract the police drones from the other, the main drone if they're real drugs? Like, could they chase like the fake drugs? Like, would they if they make them hotter? If it's heat, heat seeking, like they put like a little heater in there and it chases the fake one.
Yeah, right.
And the police one blows up the other drone.
The war on drones.
The war on drones.
Okay, so...
Well, we lost the war on drugs, but now the war on drones rages on. We can win that one, people. Back to the show.
So another reason why e-learning is not working. So this was written by Forbes magazine. This is July 27, 2020. So it says, now the consensus is that remote learning has largely failed. It should come as no surprise. Of course not. Nobody was prepared for this. Well, at least the common folk weren't prepared for the pandemic. The government was,
right,
but
obviously.
not the regular folk, not us working folk. We were not prepared for the pandemic.
They were just wanting to do the stimulus plans all along.
And it says, as this article will show, the fault lies not in the E part of e-learning, the technology. Rather, the problem is the learning. The substance of what the technology delivered.
Which is nothing. No substance at all.
So, in K through 12, problems were numerous as remote learning was rolled out suddenly at a scale. There were students who lacked computers or internet access, teachers who had no experience with remote instruction, and parents who were not available to help or were uncomfortable being thrust into homeschooling. And again, this was not again, do not confuse this for homeschooling. This is not homeschooling, because you're still evolving the public school into your home. Okay, because homeschooling is private. Okay,
this is the opposite.
This is the opposite of homeschooling. This is more like home observing.
Yeah, this is like you taking your house and bringing your whole house to the school.
To the school, exactly. So let's see.
Now your whole house is at school, along with your kid.
So at the college level, the teachers...
Why do you want people to take your kids, America? Really, honestly, why do you want to give your kids away all the time? I don't understand that.
Do we not want our kids anymore?
Do you get sick of them after like 4 or 5 years? And
they're like, okay,
it's
off
time
you
to
go.
Send you to school now.
Off you go now to the wild.
To the wild blue school yonder. And squander, the wild blue squander. And that's what they do. They teach them to squander, and then we get mad at them for doing that. So we send them somewhere where they teach them stuff that we don't want them to learn, and then we get mad at them for applying the knowledge that we didn't want them to have. Because they do it all wrong, of course.
Of course. So, on a college level, like, teachers are calling this a panic goji, because teachers are having such a hard time getting around being able to like teach students online, and you're taking like a semester's worth of work that you could have been doing in classroom, okay, practicing and doing all these group projects and stuff, and now you have to condense it, and you have to like make it in a way where it's like a teacher might have to drop half their projects that they already have planned for the year. You know what I mean? Like,
because it takes so long to get one.
Yeah, and then they have to make sure that the projects they have are all online compatible. Like, everything
really?
can be done. All the projects have to be done online. There can't be anything done in person at all. You know.
Well, that's impossible.
Okay.
Let's just go play miniature golf class. Oh no! Wait! Because we can't talk to each other outside of the computer. That's right. So we can't even go play miniature golf and learn about geometry that way.
We really wanted to touch on the real failure, the true failure of online e-learning. 9-year-old Louisiana boy is suspended from school for a BB gun in his room. This boy, he is enrolled in school. He is using e-learning, okay? Oops, sorry about that.
Homeschooling.
Which is not homeschooling, it's
online,
e-learning.
Or also known as blended learning and online learning and computer learning. And what was the other one?
Blended learning.
Blended, right? And there was one more, I thought.
I know, we'll show them the chart.
Virtual.
Virtual,
right, yeah.
I know.
It's all the same thing. They just,
So the real failure of e-learning is right here in this article. So a 9-year-old Louisiana boy is suspended by his school district for having a BB gun in his room during a virtual learning lesson that the state's attorney general on his side. That, the state's attorney general even agrees with this kid. After Kamori Harrison was suspended 6 days after his teacher noticed him handling a BB gun, Louisiana Attorney General Jeff Landry vowed that he took to look into the case, reported the New Orleans Advocate.
So the kid was at school on the computer in his own room. He got bored for whatever reason, so he's probably pacing back and forth. And he's just picking stuff up from like around the room and just playing around with it while he's listening to whatever garbage the teacher has to say, because they're being forced by the administration to give all the wrong information according to them. And he picked up a BB gun and started messing around with it and playing with it, which was his. It was in his room and it wasn't doing anything. He's just like, being a kid. He didn't realize what he was doing, and the teacher was like, "Ugh!" and took it all out of proportion. And of course, the parents probably, of course, nobody did anything wrong, and it's a total overreach of like garbage. But that's what happens in communism.
Okay, so the incident occurred on September 11th, when, according to the fourth grader's parents, his younger brother was playing in their bedroom. They share the bedroom together, where the boy, the 9-year-old was taking a test, and he had tripped over the 9-year-old's BB gun. The 9-year-old then reportedly propped up the gun against his desk, but his teacher believed it to appear to be a full-size rifle. The Woodmore Elementary School teacher, then I wonder what her name is, or their name is, then reportedly attempted to get Maury's attention but couldn't, as he had muted his computer for the test. And she said, I think that's what it says, "I am alarmed by what appears not only to be multiple violations of both the state and federal constitutions, but also blatant government overreach by the school system," said Landry. "I have begun investigating this matter and plan to take action in defense of this young man and his family and all families who could suffer the same invasion of their homes and constitutional rights." So basically, the premise of this, that there's the precedents that they're setting forward. Okay, if this attorney general defends this kid's case, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna win, guys, because this is massive invasion of privacy here. Okay, but the precedents,
and you would think that would set precedent.
Yeah,
I hope that would set a precedent.
Are good precedents for enforcing privacy.
You can't even count on setting precedents.
But what you end up setting is a negative precedence, because if this doesn't get enough attention, the negative repercussion will be that people are going to be so normalized by doing this e-learning thing that are going to like, okay, I'm not worried about them snitching on me. I don't have nothing to hide.
Right. Like
I wasn't the one who had a BB gun that the teacher thought that might have been a full-size rifle for her to mistake it by, or
Exactly.
him or her, or it.
Just like the General Fuhrer of the Federal Reserve testifying on Capitol Hill today, the very same day as since 4 o'clock in the morning, they've been announcing nothing else other than President Trump and his wife, the First Lady, have covered the falafel flingblow, the falafel ice cream syndrome, and they have the thing, and that's news. And that's the only news, even though the really important news, of course, is the General Fuhrer of the Federal Reserve testifying in front on Capitol Hill. So it's really, really important about how he's going to steal all of our money. And they're going to say, oh, that was public information, but you guys were too busy looking at the falafel for president at the time.
Oh, my God.
Just like that.
Yep.
Similar.
All right.
Distraction.
So, the parents of this 9-year-old boy believe that their privacy rights were violated. I agree with them. All right, this is what happens when you let the state into your house. Because, again, clicking on I agree to terms and service means that you're agreeing for the government and for the state and for the teachers. Because you know what? I was a teacher for 5 years. Every year we have to fill out a sheet of paper that says we are a mandated reporter, and we are mandated to report. Okay? I don't know how much more simplistic do I have to make that. So we're snitches. We're supposed to snitch. So if you got somebody smoking their weed pipe in the back, I guess we're mandated to report on that too. So anyway,
it's like it's their classroom or something.
This is a major invasion, violation against, your
Right.
Fourth Amendment. Your Fourth and Fifth
Because your
Amendments.
kid's whole classroom is now in his room.
Yep, and
or
then
her room, or
and
whoever.
then the education system
Whatever kind of kid
can
you have.
punish your child as if they are in the school, and which means that your child can have they could reach your child at home now.
Isn't that scary?
So your kid doesn't even need to walk off the school's property anymore. They could walk off into your property, and now they're still at school.
Let me put it to you this way. If you wouldn't allow anyone to plug a wire into your kid's head or brain directly, into their skull and brain, if you would not allow anybody to drill a hole into your child's skull and brain and implant a wire, then you should not be allowing this. It's the same thing. It's just an invisible wire. Like President Trump said, invisible enemies, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Invisible wires.
The microorganism type.
Invisible drills drilling into the skulls and brains of your children. Oh, God, I would never put my kids through that. Ever. Anyway, folks, let's now have a word from our sponsors, children. And now back to the show.
Okay, so we wanted to talk about a couple of the programs that these kids are using. So we mentioned it was a Google Classroom, which is an online learning tool that
Click on Google Classroom, everybody, to get that started. Immerse yourself in education, a world of delight.
So these teachers are using Google Classroom as a tool to assign kids homework assignments and do attendance, and they use a combination of Google Documents, the Google Slides, Gmail, and the Google Calendar to basically put all their projects, make all that, what they could have done in a classroom. So the one thing we know about Google, and the biggest criticism of Google is known for selling our information.
Oh, right. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it? It has all of our information.
And we're letting our kids use
Google
Google
needs
Classroom.
money.
Again, clicking to agree to terms and service again.
Oh, yeah.
We're letting our kids use Google Classroom, and then Google is spying on our kids and selling their information. Your minor children are being sold. Their information is being sold online as they're completing homework assignments.
This is why we always say, people, you shouldn't do anything important on a computer, especially if it's legal. You shouldn't be doing anything that has anything to do with legal or money or anything important or personal importance or contracts or really even anything other than just basic therapy. You could do that, I guess, online, but anything other than that, I mean basic therapy, it's for entertainment only, folks. Folks, it's all public. It will always be public. Anything you put on here, everybody can see you. Everyone can see everything. You punch in your social, everybody can see it. I don't care how protected or secure as someone tells you this website is or whatever. There's always a way. Okay, trust me, all right, people? Don't do anything online that's important. Why, especially not education. Good God. You're going to trust a computer with what
your kid?
And what your future, what you can learn, what your skills, what you're going to do in life, what you can learn, how good you're going to be at it? Oh my God, what if it teaches you wrong and you kill people by accident? You would never know. You would never, that's my point. People don't trust the computer for anything important at all. Good Lord, people, you got to stop doing that. No, you shouldn't even put data in there. And what I mean by that is, these paperless or, filing information, just because it's easy to look up right away, like all your clients' information, I understand. But seriously, pen and paper, go back to the filing cabinet. Typewriter's even good, okay? But real, solid copies of real paper and black and white ink, because that is the only way that you can protect it. And no one's going to steal that, all right? But if you have it in your computer or you put it on anything at all, it's public. It's going to go away. It's going to get taken. Everything you put on there will get taken and never given back to you. Okay, it will happen. It's an inevitability. It is not a chance. You're not risking, taking a risk. It's an inevitability. It's 100% chance that it's going to happen to you. Okay, don't trust the computers with anything important at all. Don't make them do anything important. It's amazing to me that people want to let computers drive cars and trucks, for Christ's sake. How? I mean, that is.
I know.
Beyond insane.
It is crazy.
I don't care how safe you say it is. It's a computer with a program. All you have to do is run a magnet by that truck or car that's being run, a strong enough magnet, or maybe it accidentally drives by a magnet in a barn or something. All that has to do is that'll happen. And the programming, that super safe programming that the truck or car was programmed with, so it stays on the right track or whatever, it goes goofy haywire and all fluga beluga, and the thing will start killing people or something. You don't know. It could do anything because the programming will get messed up. It'll misprioritize.
I Am Robot.
Yeah, exactly. Like I Am Robot, right? There's no guarantee that there's safety nets for that. We have a
program for the
trouble
program
switch or whatever.
A kill switch.
That's true. Because all you have to do, like I said, is run a magnet by, and it could kill all that. You don't know. Magnets and technology don't mix. You don't know what they can do. What's going to happen to it? But like, imagine the programming that goes out of order. All that would have to happen.
You know what does mix really good together though? Communism and kids.
Oh, like peanut butter and jelly. Communism and children go together like peanut butter and jelly.
And speaking of communism, let's look at this other program, because we were talking about Google Classroom. Let's look at this other one, Zoom. Zoom's a little more interesting to look at now, because this one I thought.
Oh, by the way, folks, it's because children start out as communists. Everyone does in life. Okay, so like, then you grow up and become free because you can think for yourself. But as long as they can keep you young and childlike and not thinking for yourself, the longer the people stay and believing in communism. And that's how that works. But, yes, back to this.
So Zoom is a very interesting company to look at because of, communism.
Oh, yeah, the Ewan guy.
Yeah, so Zoom
Ewan or Juan?
is a video telecommunications company that a lot of people are using right now to, do their... teaching schools, having company meetings, all sorts of stuff. Everybody's
Remember,
using...
it used to be Skype, but now it's Zoom.
Now it's Zoom. So,
because of this Ewan guy.
The founder of Zoom, his name is Eric Yuan, and he was a former engineer at Cisco. So Eric Yuan,
Very Chinese.
very Chinese, I guess very
Very
American and capitalist too, because you know he made Zoom.
Oh, right.
He
Capitalism
worked.
and communism are the opposite but the same. The more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yep.
The essence of capitalism and communism.
So, in 2007,
Just like the Republicrats and Democrats.
he worked for a company called WebEx, and in 2007, Cisco bought WebEx out. So Yuan was transferred over and worked under Cisco, where he became the vice president of engineering. Okay, and I guess in 2011 he pitched a smartphone-friendly conferencing system, you know, Zoom, basically, to Cisco, and they rejected the idea. He leaves Cisco and goes on to launch Zoom, I believe, in 2013. And now, in 2020, his net worth is estimated to be $16.4 billion. $16.4 billion that Cisco Systems denied themselves when they said, no, we don't want to make your Zoom.
This is why we've been telling you people, the news just makes up emergency BS to sell advertising. Okay, it's just a reality show. It's just a TV show. None of it's real. They just want to get your attention to sell advertising. And if they can say the same thing over and over again and still get your attention, that's like bully for them, because that's like a big bet. They don't have to work hard at all. That they can just do the same thing every day. Very, very communistic.
Yes.
But somehow that's the dream. Everybody wants to not think for themselves and have other people do their thinking for them, and just show up every day and phone it in and everything will be okay.
So,
ridiculous.
Around the time Eric Yuan was working for Cisco, Cisco was actually being investigated, and I want you guys to pay attention to this highlighted part right here, because they were busted.
Ooh,
yeah, they were busted for supplying the Chinese government with surveillance internet infrastructure equipment that they use to block internet websites and track online activities in China. Okay?
That means that Chinese spies looked at you.
Yep.
No, you don't know what they did with that information or by looking at you, but they did look at you. They saw you. You weren't safe. You will never be safe.
So,
unfortunately.
In May 2011, a group of Falun Gong practitioners filed a lawsuit under the Alien Tort Statute alleging that Cisco knowingly developed and customized its product to assist the Chinese government in the prosecution and abuse of the Falun Gong practitioners.
Not the Falun Gong practitioners. Oh
yes. The lawsuit was then dismissed in September 2014 by the United States District Court for the Northern District of California, which decision was appealed to the United States Court of Appeals in the Ninth Circuit in September 2015. So they are known for selling out to China. And then now we got Zoom, made by another Chinese American who worked for a company that sold surveillance, surveillance programs and stuff, to China.
Of you.
Of us. And now we got our kids using Zoom.
For school.
For school. So get your get your Chinese sponsored American education from Cisco Systems. Is that how it goes?
Hey everybody, get your Chinese American sponsored fucking education from Cisco Systems.
With the online e-learning attachments.
Fudge.
And we could give all your kids all the communist training they need on Zoom.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, oh, that's funny how that works. So they sold surveillance footage of us.
Not footage. It's surveillance systems. They sold the Chinese government surveillance systems that they use on their own people so they could surveil them online and watch their online activities. Right. And then incorporate it with the social credits
They
score.
Used our information to develop a way to communize our children.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting.
That's what Zoom did, basically. Yes. Yeah.
So they used the information they stole from you to communize your children.
Yep.
For free. You did not get paid for it. or their slave.
All under the idea that Eric Yuan wanted to visit his girlfriend who was 10 hours away in China, and he needed a mobile-friendly version of video chatting.
Network communication
yeah,
systems.
network communication systems and surveillance systems, also known as Zoom, to talk to his girlfriend who was 10 hours away because Facebook Messenger, I guess, is banned in China or something.
It's time for me to look at dirty girlfriend online and go jerk off in the bathroom now. I must develop a system for this. Anywho.
So, I had wanted to show you guys this last website really quick because I thought this was really funny because all these little circles, they should actually just be sitting all on top of each other.
There it is, distance learning, blended learning, online learning, virtual learning, and e-learning, all the same kind of learning.
They're all learning online.
Oh, wait, scroll down, show them the part, with the...
Yeah, this one was funny.
Here's
so
online, go ahead.
What is online learning? Online learning involves an internet connection and include a virtual face-to-face interactions, webinar, online lecture, virtual meeting.
All right, go to the next one.
So
virtual learning instruction is delivered through the internet software,
internet
or
connection.
both, so the same thing. And
uses a computer.
Right.
Again.
E-learning is next.
And they can connect and interact with students and their instruction, which is basically the same as face-to-face interaction.
Oh, yeah, right. It's just worded differently.
So what is e-learning? E-learning uses digital tools for teaching and learning and technology. It can be used online or in a classroom.
Facilitates the learning process.
But still online, you know.
It's different because it facilitates the learning process.
Okay.
The other ones don't quite facilitate it as much.
Students have unlimited access to the content. Let's see.
Then distance learning. It's the same structure as online learning, except its specific purpose is to attract students from all locations.
Okay.
So again, the same thing.
And then what is blend learning?
Blended learning.
It's the combination of
classroom and
virtual learning. So basically everything above here, they all just lead into each other. They are all describing.
But blended learning integrates, and the other ones don't.
They're all describing the same thing. You still require an internet connection.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're gonna look at a screen and an internet connection, and that's in all five of these squares or circles. My God, I can't count and I don't know my shapes.
Well, this has been a very interesting show tonight.
Yeah, we went through a lot of material here.
I'd say we did.
Yeah, so you could get your Chinese-sponsored education, you know, from
Cisco Enterprise.
Your local state public school with the Chinese-sponsored education surveillance system.
And remember, folks, in the USA, slavery of the state is still legal.
Yep.
So your computer is now enslaving you and your children together. And your doctor.
And your doctor.
Because they want to all partner up with you for some... They just want to take your kids, basically.
Yeah, that's true.
The old Pied Piper syndrome. The computer got rid of your rats, but you didn't pay the computer enough money, so now it's going to steal your children instead.
And that's true, because actually right here, I think I have it up here, yeah.
Oh, and release falafel bugs. And,
this website is called...
bugs on you.
This website is called Teachers and Parents as Partners. So basically,
just
it's
like
the whole
Pied
concept.
Piper.
It's a whole concept saying, like, teachers and parents are like the same level of partnership, and that the teacher's going to have just as much say over your child that you are as a parent over your child.
And the doctor, too.
And the doctor.
So any
well, they're
crazy
going to
quack.
bridge it. They're going to bridge it through the state like that. Right now, we're just focusing on the education system. So right now, they're going to condition us to be partners with the teachers. And then later on,
they're going to combine
us
schools and mental institutions.
And clinics.
And clinics. So in other words, that's why they don't want your kids in school right now. It's so they can repurpose the buildings into combination classroom,
clinical schools,
clinic, and mental institution. Yeah.
Yep.
They'll probably call them clinical schools, right?
And
but basically, that's more communism, because the Nazis did that, and so did the Russian communists after they stole. Oh no, they didn't. They illegally received from us, actually. So we stole Eastern Germany and other parts of Eastern Europe, like Poland. So the communists got that, illicitly, illegally, and they formed these clinical school things. And they gassed a lot of people too. So just like the Nazis, really, same thing.
Yeah.
Just gassing people because they were deemed medically not up to par.
Well, in this case, if you don't agree with something that you have to do with your kid, the teacher, the doctor, and any other adult professional that engages with your child as they grow up
has the right to gas you. Lock you up.
Or
cause
has a right to say
you.
to oppose you.
Tax you.
Tax you.
By golly, it's our tax given. Oh no, that's not good enough. Well, folks, it's been fun this evening.
Okay, so just please give us a like, share with everyone you know this information. This is very important, guys. I just want to really stress on the fact that when you guys allow your schools to put these cameras in your homes and they can sit there and spy on you and tell you guys what to do, we're normalizing surveillance. Like, don't sit there and act that because you have nothing to hide, like it's okay for them to have access to your homes. You wouldn't want the government inside your home all day, every day, would you?
Exactly.
You know, you don't want to be spied on all day, like while you're in the bathroom,
Don't use your computers or any type of technology for anything important. Anything more important than a simple phone call, email, or very basic stuff. Especially don't trust it with your money. Why would you put money in a machine that doesn't even give change? All right, we are pretty much at the end of our show, people. We just want to thank all of our listeners out there for tuning in this week, and a special shout out to all our sponsors for bringing you this show. All right, kids, be cool and stay out of public school. You don't need to be there. Marboro Man from Wham Radio and New MTV, because we have the only people, and America's favorite co-host.
Anarchist coming to you from the dark side of the moon.
We ask that you be well, be safe, and especially be vigilant. We will see you on the next show. Oh, Scooby-Doo.